Well, it's been a little while since I actually did a live one. If you've been paying attention to my vlogs, you've seen, the best hits. I don't mean to do that. I do it when I'm thinking about something that I'm not ready to talk about and I want to stay up to date with you. I'll reach back and show you some things that I said maybe a month or so ago. I'm going to talk about a subject right now that has really been on my mind and heart. And I didn't know when I was going to broach it and how I was going to broach it, but here I am at 5:06 a.m. I just got home from work, so um, I didn't even bother taking off my jacket. I just wanted to sit down and start talking to you. So here goes. We all want success, and we believe we deserve it, especially if you have a modicum of talent and you know you're a creative soul. You imagine a better life for yourself all the time, obviously using the talents that you have. But it's not enough just to be talented. Are you really ready to receive the weight of success? Do you have the avenues created to hold that success? Or are you just wishing on a dream? And if tomorrow morning you woke up with thousands of dollars at your disposal, what would you really do with it? What can you do with it? Do you know about taxes? And do you have a method of saving? Do you know about tithing? I mean, there's so many aspects to what happens when you get money. Um, and most never know about this part of it because they'll spend their lifetime being a consumer. Every single penny they get, they give to someone else almost immediately. And oftentimes spend more than they actually are bringing in. So now they create debt for themselves. I was advised by a friend who knows me really well today uh, when I called to check in and share with him what I was thinking about doing. You see, when you spend a lot of time homeless, and not necessarily homeless because you're broke, busted, and disgusted, you're homeless by choice because you're trying to create something for yourself and you're trying not to use the resources that maybe your family has. So you live marginally and you do everything in your power to try to create a better life for yourself by yourself, but it doesn't work. And then you find yourself too proud to call home or too proud to tell your friends what you're really going through, and you endure. I know there are a lot of people out there like that, and I desire to help them. And I'm always giving and taking care of and paying other people's bills, and I do it because that's what was done for me for so long. And I feel like I owe it, if not to the people who helped me, I pay it forward. But there comes a point where what you think you're doing that's benevolent isn't anymore. And if you keep doing it, you weaken your own foundation. When you weaken your foundation, your hopes, your dreams, your visions will come to a pause. I didn't say they will come to a halt, but they will absolutely come to a pause. And that happens so that you can reassess what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you can be better at it. I believe that if you're called to be benevolent, if you're called to be benevolent, you can't do it at the risk of harming yourself. You can only be as benevolent to others as you've been to yourself. Now, that life lesson I am still learning. No matter how kind, how generous, how attentive I want to be to another, it can never be less than, or I should say, I can never treat myself less than the way I treat others. Because then what I'm doing for others comes out of ego. It's not coming out of a place to help them and bring them peace. It's coming from that place where you are showing someone else you're doing well. And you can show them that you're doing well at the expense of not doing well after you show them. Understand? I want you to think about the 5 people that you spend the most time on or with, either taking care of them on some level, helping them through a situation, or just because you care about them, you're always pouring into them. Now, I want you to think about those same 5 people and ask yourself a simple question. When was the last time they poured back into me? Now, I know if you're like me, you'll make an excuse for them. Well, they don't make it as much as I do. They're struggling. But if you watch them close enough, you see them doing things for themselves all the time. You see them doing things for others all the time. And the reason they don't do anything for you is because you've trained them not to. You've told them you're okay. And people don't think of you first when all you ever say about your life is, I'm okay. So you can't judge them or have an attitude toward them because they haven't been there for you when you haven't allowed them to be. But once again, we go back to what I said earlier, and that is people can only be there for you in the same measure that you're there for yourself. So if they're not there for you on some level, you have to then understand that you taught them how to treat you. You taught them how to treat you by the way you treated yourself. So let's try not to put ourselves last in this coming week. We have to exhibit a certain amount of self-care and taking care of ourselves so that we're strong enough to be able to take care of someone else if we're called to do that. Woe is the man who's called to help and he hasn't truly laid the foundation that allows him to be that kind of help to others. I hope I said something that either set some things into motion or answer some questions that you've had or put your spirit at ease over things that you thought you knew to be true, but you were hesitating on being proactive about those things. It's no time like the present to show the one that you should be showing at all times, that you love them and that you're there for them and that you've got their back. And that person is you. I hope you take care of yourself this week. Peace.